So I want to show you another thing that I noticed today, because I've been hearing this phrase a lot over the last couple weeks. I've been hearing this phrase a lot, and it's quite frankly driving me mad. So I'm going to play this for you. It's Delaware Senator Chris Coons questioning Mike Pompeo, who had his nomination hearing today for his Secretary of State nomination. Let's listen.
Let me just follow up, if I might, for a moment on a line of questioning two of my colleagues pursued. You are a magna cum laude graduate of Harvard Law School. I couldn't get into Harvard. I went to Yale Law School. And as such, I'd assume that you'd agree that rule of law is absolutely essential to the values that define our democracy. Is that correct?
Senator, I only spoke publicly 5 times as a CIA director. Each time I spoke publicly, I spoke to, and maybe there's an exception, but each time I spoke at some length about the importance of the rule of law at the CIA, how we were a creature of law, and how if we didn't do that, the fundamental failure that would lead to. I believed it as a CIA director, I believed it all my life, and I'll believe it as the Secretary of State if I'm confirmed as well, Senator.
Well, and I think you made a strong statement that if confirmed to be the 7th time, you'd raise your hand and swear an oath to the Constitution. So let me just go back to a line of questioning. President Trump described Special Counsel Mueller's investigation as an attack on what we all stand for, and he has repeatedly threatened to fire Robert Mueller. He's threatened the investigation. He's threatened the Attorney General in his tweets in ways I find troubling. Do you believe Special Counsel Mueller's investigation is an attack on our country and all we stand for?
Senator, I hope you'll take this the right way. As the director of the CIA, I've been involved in that investigation. I've worked with Senators Burr and Warner and with Congressmen on the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. I have been a participant in Special Counsel Mueller's activity. I think anything I say with respect, I want to avoid that today. I apologize that I can't speak more fully to that, but I hope you'll respect the fact that everything that I was asked to do in my role as CIA director related to any of these investigations I've done with as much thoroughness, as much depth, and as much alacrity as our organization could achieve.
Well, I'm convinced that if the president were to fire the special counsel or to interfere with this investigation by firing Rod Rosenstein with an intention to then interfere with and shut down this investigation, that it would put the rule of law genuinely at risk.
Oh, the rule of law, the rule of law. We are a nation of laws. Did you hear that? Did you hear the rule of law? But I find this very interesting. And I'm not attacking Chris Coons, the Delaware senator. I don't care about Chris Coons. He's just another neoliberal hack. But I keep hearing this phrase from politicians. Donald Trump is attacking the rule of law. In the morning when I wake up, I go to the bathroom and then I try to go back to bed. But as I'm trying to go back to bed a little bit, I put on Morning Joe. Because I believe keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. And listening to Morning Joe in the morning kind of gives me a little bit more energy for the day. So I hear Joe Scarborough a lot talking about, that the rule of law is under attack. The rule of law is under attack. Well, first of all, I do think the President, Trump, does attack the rule of law because I don't think he really cares about the law. He actually thinks the Attorney General works for him when, based on the law, the Attorney General and the Department of Justice is supposed to be totally independent of the President. So yeah, I agree. Trump don't care about the rule of law and none of that stuff. But that's secondary. What is this nonsense that we have a rule of law in this country and this country is based on rule of law? No. We have 3 different legal systems in this country. We have a legal system for bankers, oil executives, pharmaceutical executives, and wealthy donors. So that's the first legal system. Their legal system is just don't get caught. Don't get caught. And if you get caught, we'll take care of you. As long as you keep the money coming, we'll take care of it. That's number one. That's the first legal system. The second legal system is for, I don't know, what's left of middle-class white people. What's left of us. So, I, for example, I got pulled over once when I was a young kid. I ran a stop sign. I made up a real BS story of why I was in such a rush, and the cop didn't give me a ticket. It was in a Long Island suburban neighborhood. So there's rule of law for like middle class white folk, you know? And then there's the rule of law for poor people, black people, brown people, Native Americans. And that rule of law is we're going to just arrest you. We're going to attack you if you protest. Going to beat you up if you protest. And we're just going to stick charges on you even if you didn't even leave your room, even if you didn't even leave your freaking house. So I keep hearing these wealthy plutocrats like Joe Scarborough on television, who make millions of dollars a year, or Senator Chris Coons. It's not just him. I mean, there's other politicians that talk like this. And they're so indignant about Donald Trump and the rule of law. Well, where was all this talk about the rule of law? The rule of law. When unarmed Native Americans and environmental activists were getting brutalized by publicly funded police officers in North Dakota for months. Where was all the talk about the rule of law then? Did you hear about the rule of law then? I didn't hear about the rule of law. Where is all the talk about the rule of law as police in this country just keep murdering black people, just claiming, oh, I thought he was going for his gun. Oh, okay, that's fine. Where's the rule of law for billionaires that defrauded American investors and citizens, so much so that the United States economy and the global economy crashed 10 years ago? Did I miss the rule of law for them? I don't recall our nation of laws holding those folks accountable, like Lloyd Blankfein and Jamie Dimon. Because I know you guys, your 401k was cut in half, your retirement, a lot of you lost your homes. Where's the rule of law for police officers in St. Louis who shoot unarmed black people? Or the rule of law for a police officer who was literally in a car chase with an unarmed black person and said he was recorded saying this during the chase, I'm going to kill this motherfucker, you watch. Then he killed him. Wasn't indicted. However, there were black people I spoke with when I was in jail overnight, when I worked at the Young Turks. There was black people then who told me they literally have been pulled over for a broken taillight, thrown in jail, had bail set at $20,000 to $25,000, and then they couldn't pay those bails because they're poor, and then they had to stay in jail for 6 months to a year to work off the bail. That's called modern-day slavery, folks. So, I think why I brought this up is I think this is all part of this mentality that the corporate media has put out there and that Democratic establishment hacks have put out there. And that's the mentality that everything was just dandy in America on January 19th, 2017. Everything was just dandy. It's January 20th, and all the time since then, where the rule of law is suddenly at great peril. And we have an authoritarian president. We do. We definitely do. But I say, why not be consistent? Why do none of these people care when the rule of law is trampled on almost every day at poor people and working poor people and the people struggling to stay in the middle class? I don't see that outrage and indignation.